Hey everybody, Tim and Miranda here for another episode of The Boys. Season 1, Episode 4, The Female of the Species. Right off the bat, what'd you think?
I don't really remember this one. So I kind of wish I watched it again with him, but this was one of the episodes that he watched by himself.
Fuck yeah.
Because I was at work.
So this one is all about the female, who didn't know this, that is actually her name in the comics. Crazy killer lady.
She doesn't actually have a name?
Nope, it's just a female. Yep. She's a female. She doesn't need a name.
I was like hoping that
nope.
Somewhere.
As far as I know, that's a mine. I try not to look up spoilers, but sometimes they accidentally just
gotcha.
When you look up stuff, they just come at you. So I love how Frenchie lets her out, which you had brought up the first time we saw Frenchie, how you loved him.
I do like him a lot.
He didn't do anything for me, but the more we watch it, the more I like him. So
he just, to me, he's very, what's the word? Empathetic.
Yeah, that's a good word. I don't know if it's the right word.
I don't know if it's the right word, but it's a good word. Empathetic towards the female in general. And I feel like he, we'll be getting more backstory from him. It just seems like he's gone through a lot of shit and everything and just is so upset that she is locked up and trapped and just fucking going crazy, basically. Yeah,
and he tells a story about how he wanted to go home and stuff like that. Probably the best scene, one of the best scenes, is the Deep talking to his psychiatrist about how dolphins have a personality and they have a sense of humor, and the whole goddamn country's just a travesty. Okay, Aquaman, calm the fuck down. Oh, look, a 6-pack. Go, right away.
He just... His douche level just keeps going.
Yeah. We see Huey go on a date with Starlight. We saw them in a previous episode where they accidentally meet in the park.
Yeah, in the park.
And then...
I don't know if that was accident.
Billy...
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was. It was completely by accident. Because he was just sitting in the park and then she sat next to him. She didn't even know who he was at first. Or he didn't know who she was at first.
No, but he goes and talks to Billy right after that. And I
it
made it seem like they had planned him.
No, because this is the episode, this is the moment where Billy's he gets a text, and Billy's like, who's that? And he's like, nobody. And he takes his phone, he's like, you fucking know Starlight? And he's like, well, we accidentally bumped into each other.
You're right, okay.
And he's like, you're going on the date. Yep. And Billy's like, but I don't want to go on the date. He's like, you're going on the date.
Yeah.
Well, date was never actually brought up, so. But they do go on the date. They go on the bowling date. And I feel like Billy's about as subtle as I am. I would not...
Billy or Huey?
Huey. Sorry. Huey. Huey is about as subtle as I am. No game, no nothing. Him, trying to nonchalantly...
Skinny white boy, of course.
Segue into... I'm not a little skinny boy, though. I'm like a fat old man. It's like Toy Story, 2? It's a fat old man doll. That's me. So anyways, where they're in the bowling alley and he's trying to be nice and he's like, so what do you think about A-Train? And even she's like, where the fuck did that come from? And she's like, I don't know, he has kids? And Huey already feels bad about murdering, Translucent. Translucent, she feels bad about. And he's like, wait, Translucent had kids? And she's like, yeah, I think he had a boy or something. So now Huey's just going to feel worse. So, I don't know. It's just going to build from there. We'll see. Drinking way too much. I got all these. For the record, for those of you watching, and they're like, none of this is accurate. In my mind, it's accurate. Because I'm picturing the correct characters. They just don't come out right. Yeah.
Words.
I'm talking about Huey and Starlight talking about Translucent having a kid.
Yes.
I don't even know what fucking names I said, but there you go.
Yep.
One of my favorite fucked up moments is Homelander and Queen Maeve, where they're in the plane, and they're supposed to, save this oceanic plane.
No, yes.
But Homelander accidentally kills the pilot. So one of the reasons I love that scene, as a superhero fan, people have complained about Superman in the past.
Yeah.
Because he goes to catch a plane, and he, holds the plane and, sets it down. And everybody's like, realistically, he's so strong that the, pressure, per square inch and everything, he can't catch a plane. He would go right through it.
Oh, gotcha.
And Like, because it's just not a thing. Like, you can't just, like, catch the plane. And Homelander says that. Like, he's like, if I did try to catch this plane, it would either flip and everybody would die, or I would just punch a hole right through it. Like, you don't catch a plane because it's moving too fast. Yeah. Like, if it was stationary, he might be able to lift it, but a moving plane, you can't do it. Like, it's not a thing. And that's, like I said, that's an actual one of those fanboy complaints of Superman before. Yeah. Because you can't do it. So the fact that he brings it up and he's like, they're fucked. Let's just leave them. And now Queen Maeve has to kind of like deal with it. Yeah. So I loved it. I thought it was like, I mean,
he's such a douche.
He's such a douche. And it's such a fucked up moment. But at the same time, it's like, you literally can't do anything. Yeah, I get it. So it's 6 one way, half a dozen of the other, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, technically, they could have tried to save some people.
They could, well, even...
Which is what Maeve, like, throws out there.
And then even he brings up the line, like, no, because then they're survivors, and they're just going to paint us in a bad picture. Yeah. So the whole thing, like, it's a fucked up situation, 100%. But it's a good way to, like, show how much of a douche Homelander is.
Oh, yeah.
So I love that.
I mean, you can just see that from episode 1, but that's...
Well, yeah. I'd say episode 2.
Episode 2.
Yeah. When Mother's Milk and Frenchie are talking about Huey is so great because he's like, he's the white Urkel because he's so nerdy. And I'm like, oh, that hurts because I'm a big Family Matters fan, of course. So we get that. And then Billy's whole fucking montage, like, just rant about the Spice Girls. Like, what's Sporty Spice doing? Not a goddamn thing. What about Posh Spice? She's anorexic. Fuck her. Sporty Spice, probably in jail. Baby Spice, porn addict, just going down. But you put them all together, they're the bloody Spice Girls.
I love that you started with the accent, and then you just went back to talking regular, and then you ended with the accent.
Keep things interesting. So, I loved it. And even Mother's Milk and Frenchie are like, he needs to work on his prep talks. But it's still great. I love the whole... And then, like, the next scene, they're like, well, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So...
Sorry.
This one, right here, was at work while I was watching this episode. And as soon as we see Deep in the van with the dolphin, and he's like, this isn't the time! Fine, I'll touch you there after we get there. I was like, oh my god, Deep's gonna bang a dolphin. And then when he, like, hits the brakes... And it's slow fucking motion of the dolphin passing him. Wear your seatbelt, boys and girls. And then it gets hit by the semi. I was like, what? I'm at a loss for words. I was going to
text that say, this show is fucked up.
This show is beyond fucked up.
And I had the buddy with me that introduced me to this show. And I was like, where do you think he's at? And so we're throwing out guesses at each other.
No spoilers.
No spoilers whatsoever. And we're throwing out guesses at each other. And so finally I text him back. I was like, where are you at? And he's like, the dolphin gets run over. And I was like, yep. Yes, it does.
I should have said my living room. That's what I should have said. We see A-Train attacking the girl, which, I don't know, it was a little disappointing because all he's doing is like hitting her head in the wall. And I was like, dude, you have like super speed. You could be like...
You could run through her.
Yeah.
Weird.
But it was a little disappointing. But I love how they get him off of her because they're like, is that A-Train? And then all the fans like converge. That's the best way to get somebody like, like a superstar. That's great. And then the whole episode ends because the whole thing is like trying to get Homelander in the military. And then Homelander's like, look at this wrecked plane. If you would have let me in the military, I could have saved him. So he just spins this disaster for his own good. Yep. Because he's good at what he does, which is being a dick, so.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Overall, I'm digging it. I love it. We're halfway through the season already. Closing thoughts?
No.
No? Nothing?
No.
Okay. For those who have seen it, what did you guys think? Go ahead, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time for Good for the Soul.